for, frankly, for some angry, upset birthers and others. I hope that's not the case, but it sure does say to you what David Brooks said the other day on TV, which is that more credible conservatives have to stand up and say that there's a line that has to be drawn, that there's a line of responsibility that's important.
Okay. Listen to this desperateness, like, oh, it's embarrassing for Republicans what's happening. No, Obama's falling like a stone. All credibility's been lost. People are circulating all his lies. The Obama deception has gone mega, total, super viral. And they're now desperate, saying, oh, you know, like in a sword fight, they're losing, going, oh, don't you want to quit? I'm beating you. Webster Tarpley.
I would say there are two sides to this. I don't think there's anything socialist about Obama. I think this is a total misnomer. This is something that's launched by the Limbaughs and the Hannitys. The correct term, and I'm sorry about this, but it's the fascist corporate state. In my book, Obama, the Unauthorized Biography, I have a whole chapter towards the end where I go through scholarly literature from historians and political scientists and sociologists. They've come up with what is defined as a fascist minimum. In other words, if you take all the European and indeed U.S. fascist groups of the 1920s and 30s, you can take Salazar in Portugal, Franco in Spain, Sir Oswald Mosley in Britain, the French movement of this guy Doriot. You can go to the Baltic states. You can go to the Iron Guard in Romania with Codriano. You go to Mussolini's Italy, and then Hitler's Germany. You can add in the I think the silver shirts here in the U.S. There were blue shirts, I think, or green shirts in Ireland. So what is it that all these groups have in common? And they come up with about 10 or 12 points in terms of the ideology, the role of the charismatic leader, the dynamics of the movement, the anti-woman, the anti-feminism that's typical of these movements. And if you then compare that to Obama, which I do in some detail, you find that Obama actually tests positive, and his movement, they test positive on a very alarmingly high number of these points. So that's one side, the movement. The other one then is the corporate state. In other words, what did Mussolini do to reorganize the Italian economy in the 1920s? He created a series of government-sponsored compulsory cartels where labor was forced to participate in the same way that the United Auto Workers are being forced to cut their own throats in the Detroit takedown, that the American Federation of Teachers is being forced to cut their own throats with merit pay and charter schools and all the rest of it. So you force government and labor and the bosses, management, into one entity, and then you use that as a compulsory cartel. You're going to drive down wages, drive down production, but prop up fictitious capital. In other words, the bloated bubble prices of stocks, bonds, and today derivatives. So we can say that the accurate term is indeed this reference to the Mussolini
I understand that, but regardless,
state.
It's not racist to say he's a socialist,
no.
And it shows that they're cold-bloodedly doing this. Let's play some manhandling and then take calls. We'll have to have you back up for part 2 next week on the eugenics, because this is topical and happening now, but the eugenics is the foundation to all of it. Here is Spectre today. Now, 30 questions were randomly handed out, cards. And 29 of them were against the government takeover, the eugenics, death care. And that's what it is. I've read it. Now, this guy gets up. He was promised he could speak. He tells Spectre he's not buying it. And this thug thinks it's normal to grab him and shove the old man in the corner. Go ahead and play it.
You want to be let out of here, you're welcome to go. Now wait a minute. Now wait a minute. Now wait a minute. Now wait a minute.
Hit pause.
Wait a minute.
Look at the muscle guy picking on some little old man. Just thinks he's so tough. But see, it was good the guy sat there and took it, because then it makes him the thug. But and that's who they are. They're just so stupid. And they just love big government. They love it. Here, finish it up. Look at Spectre acting like the little old man's done something wrong and all puffing up. Just disgusting creature. This is the guy that says bullets can shoot through 2 people and metal and not even be damaged. This is the magic bullet fraud. Here he is.
Wait a minute.
I am leaving. I have every right to leave.
Wait a minute. He has a right to leave. He's right.
He is trying
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You want to leave? Leave.
I am going to speak my mind before I leave because your people told me I could. I called your office and I was told I could have the mic to speak. And then I was lied to because I came prepared to speak. And instead, you wouldn't let anybody speak. You handed out, what, 30 cards? Well, I got news for you. That you and your cronies in the government do this kind of stuff all the time. Well, I don't care how damn crooked you are. I'm not a lobbyist with all kind of money to stuff in your pocket so that you can cheat the citizens of this country. So I'll leave, and you can do whatever the hell you please to do. One day God's going to stand before you, and he's going to judge you and the rest of your damn cronies up on the hill. And then you will get your just desserts.
All right, that's enough. Now, he told him, but you notice thugs tried to stop him. Now, I don't have time to play this whole clip because I want to take some more of your calls, and I appreciate Tarpley being on. We'll have to get him up for 2 hours next week as so much is happening and on the eugenics issue. But we have them beating up black people who are against it or appear to be against it. We have them beating up women. We have them going to people's houses and death threatening them. The police have now confirmed this. They come to your house, folks, and then they accuse you of being rowdy and bad. Here's this man with his son who's has a serious illness, cerebral palsy, getting in Dingle dropping. Congressman Dingle. Yeah, John Dingleberry. John Dingle. Excuse me, I keep forgetting his name. I apologize. Getting up in his face. Excuse me, I forget these congressman names from Michigan. And you notice that Dingle doesn't deny that his kid will be given no health care. He just says, we're going to amend that. So I got to give it to him. At least he admitted it was real. Usually they just lie and say, there is no bill. This is no town hall. You're ill. We have a white van for you. Let's go ahead and play it. Here it is.
Question on paper that you're going to avoid. I want to ask a question on behalf of this young man. Under the Obama health care plan, which you support, this man would be given no care whatsoever because he is a cerebral palsy handicapped person. Oh, yes, that's true. All right, shut up. Dr. Ezekiel. Arrest us right now.
I think somebody in the staff will find that page for you.
Where it, he wrote it, he doesn't know where it is.
Somebody in the staff will find it.
All right, the video we found was some angle I hadn't seen, so the audio's not very good. I saw it on the news this morning and last night, cut up. That's the one we have up on Infowars and Prison Planet. You can hear Dingle say, no, yeah, we're going to take that out of the bill. So, see, no health. There's the congressman admitting that they were not going to give his son any health care. Webster Tarpley comments on this.
I think it's a very important movement. It's a mass strike against genocide, against euthanasia, against austerity. But now we've got to think, what's the next step? You can already see the Republican vultures hovering around. We've got the Competitive Enterprise Institute going in, the Heartland Institute. We've got Freedom Works, which is Dick Armey, the sidekick of Newt Gingrich from the 1990s. The way the political system in this country works is if you don't prepare an alternative, the beneficiary of all this in the end might well be somebody like Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney, the hedge fund hyena. Mitt Romney, it turns out to be the guy who put in place in Massachusetts a plan which I think is very similar to what Obama is really aiming at, which is in Massachusetts, you are forced, you are obliged to buy insurance from private insurance companies. There is no government option. There is no single payer. It's all private. And I think it's not working well at all. I think people are extremely disappointed and unhappy and enraged with this thing. So the question is, if you don't want the ultimate beneficiary of all this to be somebody like Mitt Romney,